because I learned so much, and I love that you're inclusive.
Oh, yes.
You're inclusive in that regard. You don't
We're
care
black
if you're
women.
15, you don't care if you're 110. You include everybody in the fiber and the tapestry that's being woven, which is just, it's a beautiful, beautiful piece.
We need to know our history, and we need to know our now.
Yes, yes. And we're going to talk about something, but I think I'm going to save this for part 2. And this is Who Lived Here, Where Did They Go? This is a monograph, which is a study of Atlanta like you have never experienced. There's a website called Who Lived Here, Where Did They Go? And this is her work. It is profound. It is amazing. When I got this monograph and went through it, I'm new to Atlanta, but I will tell you one more reason why Atlanta is so special to me. I did not come here to do anything. I came here happenstance to come out of the cold in January, February, and March from Chicago.
So God sent you here.
I went to Virginia. I had gone to, I was supposed to make it to California, but a friend encouraged me to come here last July, and it blew my mind. You guys had a skyline. You had multiple
We just
malls.
got a skyline. Listen, wait.
Well,
put a pin in that. I remember a New Yorker coming here. Let me see. Alvin was in high school, so I was saying the 80s. And he said, where's your skyline? I said, we got a skyline. And, he was like, where's the rest of it? And no, we didn't.
No, you did. I said,
we didn't know we didn't have a skyline.
I used to come here 2004 to 2009 to train my
we
staff.
had something by then.
It was so
1996. Let me tell you,
was-
when the Olympics came, that's when we woke up. Do you know the
Georgianne, no.
people did not go home when they came here? They were
Georgianne.
like, my God, what is this?
Because
it's empty.
That's my point. That's my point. It wasn't as robust as it is now.
No.
It was not.
No, it was not.
And
We
I
were
talked to you
happy,
this past weekend. I was in seventh heaven. Spelman was having Spelman Morehouse was having their homecoming.
Yes.
So they were doing the thing. There was a concert in Piedmont Park. There was the Beltline was full of folks over from Ponce all the way over to Studioplex. I was everywhere this weekend. And I was having so much fun in Atlanta. It is magical, and that wasn't the only thing. It was there were concerts everywhere.
Yeah.
There was stuff
Parties
going
everywhere because
on
Clark
everywhere.
Atlanta had just had their homecoming and Morris Brown. So we had people who were here for the Morris Brown
Still
college
around.
homecoming. That they fell over into the Clark Atlanta University homecoming. That stayed for the Spell House homecoming. I know people who did that whole thing.
Yeah, there were people just everywhere in Atlanta. And so what brought me here was my friend last July. Had a great time. I said, nah, maybe it was because I was with them. And so I said, nope, going back. I came back in November. I said, I'm going to go back when it's kind of chilly and see.
Was
I
it
came
chilly
back,
in November?
It was maybe 50, 60.
We don't have chilly.
It was a little nip in the air. I wasn't in tank tops, so let's put it that way. I had a little sweater
But
on
you
at
didn't have
night.
on that Chicago. You were
No,
hot,
I didn't have a
probably.
coat. I didn't have a coat.
Yeah, I know you didn't have a coat on.
So, no. So I said, let me go back in November when the sun is, the sun is shining today and it's November. So, but it was just a little nip in the air. And if it was as magical as it was in July, I had more fun. Then I said, I'm coming back in January, and I'm going to spend a month there. If I could stay there in the coldest month of the year in the United States, everywhere, then I can hang with Atlanta.
It was cold here.
And my friend, meantime, from California, he's calling me saying, you got to come. You got to come. What happened? What happened? I said, I'm getting tied up in Atlanta. It's just so magical. But I took a civil rights tour my first time.
Yeah.
And then I took the bus tour, a cheesy bus tour with my niece.
We have bus tours?
Yes. You Atlanta people don't even know what's going on. My friend said the same thing. He's from here. And he says, what bus tour are you talking about?
Where did it go?
I go, it's downtown. It takes you through all the neighborhoods. And
Don't
when
come
I
to
tell
my
you,
neighborhood.
I
Come
know
to
where
my
people
neighborhood.
live
Come on
in
now.
Buckhead.
Oh, the Buckhead neighborhoods. Okay.
No, it takes you Buckhead, 5 Points, Ponce. It takes you
But
everywhere.
you don't come to the
Downtown,
SWATs?
etc. Well, I didn't know what that was until you enlightened me, and I
Okay.
went there and I was like, oh,
You don't come where
Oh.
all of the mayors came out of the SWATs. I'm
I
just
said-
saying. I'm
tell
just
me
saying
what
where
the
Reverend
SWATs are.
Laurie lives in the SWATs.
Tell me
okay,
what
the
the
late
SWATs
Reverend.
are. Tell the
okay.
audience what the
Okay,
SWATs are.
Cascade.
Yes, ma'am.
Cascade and 285. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. When
We got some brand names out there too.
I said, you know what? I'm gonna take since Georgianne can't give me the tour because she was tied up with something that she was working on personally. I said, I'm gonna go to Starbucks and work in the Cascades. So I got lost and ended up at the Starbucks. I said, Georgianne, I'm at the Starbucks.
I thought that was a good thing too.
But I didn't get the tour of the Cascades.
right, mhm.
When Georgianne took me for the tour in the Cascades, I was like, honey, I could do the Cascades now. History. Like
We have
Hank
history.
Aaron's family right up the street. You know,
The mayor, Mayor
Andrew
Shirley
Young-
Franklin lives over there. You can't, just name them. Keisha Lance Bottoms, former Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. We're the SWATs. That's old Atlanta,
couldn't
though.
believe it.
Old
I said,
Atlanta.
oh my goodness, this is where the people live. And here I am thinking Midtown, Buckhead
It's
was
still
like,
good, though. It's
yeah,
still good.
oh, it's all
It's
good
beautiful. It's all
everywhere.
good.
I love Atlanta, but
You know.
I wanted to see where the historical nature of how Atlanta came to life. Where were those people?
Andrew Young,
Yeah,
Ambassador Young,
I
all
wanted
live
to know
out
where
there.
they lived.
All in the
So
SWATs.
that was the Cascades. I remember you
The
saying.
Rosses,
I said, "Where do
the
you
SWATs.
live?" I said, "You said the Cascades." I said, "Like I know where the Cascades."
Oh.
She said, "Ask anybody." And I'm like, "Okay."
Let me tell you a
guess I'm not
story,
gonna know
right?
about the
For just a
Cascades.
minute. When I first moved out there was a Ivan Allen and crew had a block the road on Peyton, I think. Black people couldn't live past Peyton Road. You couldn't cross Peyton Road, and they made sure that we stayed on the west side, up in Martin Luther King area, which was called Hunter Street. And when we moved over, my Evelyn's father and I moved over in 1966 before she was born. We moved over there with two buses. The number 72, as I have written the 72. But the 72, I think it may not have that number. It came in the morning, and then it came back in the evening to bring the maids in. That was all there was over there because it was so white. And part of my who lived here, where did they go? I didn't look at who lived here, where they go so much from white to black. I looked at it from black to white. But if you look at who lived here, where they go in the SWATs, that was an all-white neighborhood. Dr. Adams had a lot of property out there. So you have Adams Park, Adams this, Adams Drive, Adams Golf, all that. That's Dr. Adams. But the neighbors, I lived on Lyndhurst, and then I moved to the second place. But my point is that the people there said, I can't live next door to you. This is what the man told me. I cannot live next door to you. And so they moved. And that is who lived here, where they go. White people moved out of those beautiful homes, and we moved in. And they thought we were not going to keep them or maintain them.
Yes.
And the SWATs looked just as good from 1966 to 2023.
I absolutely adore it. And you have land.
Land. We have 2 acres.
Oh
All the
my
houses
goodness,
have about
it's
acre and a half,
amazing.
2.
Amazing. I got lost in one area and I was like, oh, this is the other end. And that was the other end. And it's just, it's a
Beautiful
wonderful
out there.
community.
Beautiful
It's a wonderful
community.
community. So I'm so grateful to have, got out to
We
the
were glad that you
Cascades.
came out.
The SWATs,
I
baby.
just wanted people who come to Atlanta, they go to the same places, but they don't come over to where we are.
Right. And so you don't know who's there.
No, you don't.
And the significance, and it's all kind of wonderful. So I love it. I could live in the Cascades
Don't you like the fact, though?
easily.
I think that when you're coming here, I wanted to do some Hollywood stuff. I joined something way back when I was trying to be a movie star back in the day, and I never thought. I said something one day, and this guy laughed at me, and so he's passed on now. But Hollywood has come to Atlanta.
Yes, it has. It has.
I said it was gonna happen.
Marvel is
All
filmed
of them are
here,
here.
and that's at Trilith
Yes.
Studios, which is a whole community in and of itself. But Tyler Perry's
He helped
studios.
us out. Oh my God!
my goodness!
I don't know what we would've done
gracious,
without
that
him.
South End.
Yeah.
Jeez, Pete. Well, you can't drive through and take a tour now. But I went and I said, "Oh my goodness!" I was floored.
Even this
And
studio
all
here,
the streaming,
this
it's so
studio
much
here.
streaming out of his
My
studio.
first,
So
my
many films.
first foray over in this area was with Dallas Austin when I was his interview coach. When he did the what's those three girls? One of them passed away. What are they called? What are those young people called?
I don't know.
They had a
what
good
you-
the
TLC. Oh yeah.
TLC, yeah. All of them used to be on one of these streets, Trey Bar, somewhere around in here.
Okay.
You know, this was a area that you didn't necessarily come to, and then for you to have me over here now, and of course I got lost, but I'm so proud of these young people that have
Doing
these
their thing,
studios
honey.
all over Atlanta. You know,
Yes.
it just put us on the map. We are Wakanda.
We said that this weekend.
We
said
are.
that this weekend. I was driving near Lenox Mall, and that mall.
There used to be black out there, but go ahead.
Let me. I was listening to the videos on your who lived there, where did they go, and you've got to listen to the videos on the website. Who lived there? Where did they go? You will learn so much. Like Brookhaven, didn't know what that was.
Black.
You know, right outside of
Yeah.
Buckhead. Buckhead's history,
Oh,
and
yes.
you know, Midtown, West Midtown, all of that.
When
I
you
said,
found a
"My
black church
gosh."
downtown, you better know it wasn't a black church that just moved in downtown.
Yeah.
The black church was downtown because that black people lived downtown, and then black people moved out of downtown, but the church stayed there.
Yes.
And that's how you can find out most of the AME churches,
Yes.
African Methodist Episcopal churches, established themselves all over the country in downtown because that's where we live because we were the workforce.
Yeah.
And white people needed workforce.
Yeah. When we talked about, when I was out and about near Lenox Mall, I was on Peachtree Street, and I'm just driving, and I have a respectable car. It's nothing special, but you know, it's respectable.
It's an Atlanta car.
And a brother rolled up on the side of me in a white convertible Bentley. I said, "Well."
Oh, yes.
And then right to the right of me, there was another
Yes.
brother.
Oh,
Good
yes.
looking person.
You can even see a Wraith, which is my favorite car. My
Yeah.
number one favorite car
yes,
is a
so
Wraith. And I saw one
beautiful.
at the Varsity. I'm like, you can come
Parked
to the
in
Varsity
for a hot dog.
to get a hot dog and a Wraith. OMG. I
Yes.
have arrived.
Rolls Royce
Yeah.
parked driving through Wendy's. That was one of my first. I
No,
said,
not driving through Wendy's.
why are you at the drive-through at the Wendy's?
Because we
I
Atlanta,
said,
we
because
Wakanda.
you're real.
We're
You
real here.
You don't look at that like, oh, this is my car that I
Oh,
have to
that's
put
right.
away and I
That's
can
right.
only drive
Yeah,
to this
you real in
gala or the
Atlanta.
governor's bar. You're like, no, see, I'm going to Wendy's
Yeah.
right now, pick up me a number 6.
That's right.
And I'm going to keep it moving on my way to wherever.
But don't you like it here? Don't you like that part about Atlanta? See, people in the SWATs, we don't care about any of it. You can be a mainstream star in the Publix, and we will go right on by you and go down that aisle and get that Coca-Cola.
Exactly.
Okay? Because Atlanta
It just
is
is
not
what it is.
it's a different kind of bloodline here. The Atlantans, and I'm not an Atlantan. My daughter is, her father was, but I am not. I'm clear on who I am. But I'm talking from the experience of Atlantans, the Michael Ross and Sue Ross and Alexis Scott and Morocco Coleman and Rosin Hopper and all that crew that's born and raised in Atlanta. They don't give a flip about. It's a bloodline here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
about the bloodline.
Yeah.
It's about the blue blood. It's about the you don't those circles you don't get into any of that. You might marry into it,
Right.
Or you might have enough money to maybe get to be able to come by and maybe have a drink, maybe. But those circles are so closed.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
And they don't mean any harm by it.
No. They're just protective of what they built and who they are.
And they are. And they don't. So if you want to come up in a Wraith or a Rolls Royce and all that, and you want to be all that, they don't care about any of that.
No.
The
Because
Atlanta
it
people
is
don't care.
what it is.
They don't care
It
anything
is
about
what
it.
it is. It's a car.
It's a
to
car.
them. It's a car. It's a nice
It's a-
car they've always wanted. They got it, and they're
Yeah.
not out flexing in it.
Nah.
They're just driving it.
Because you can't tell Atlanta money, the Jesse Hills, and you see that crew of people, you would never know and I think we already know. This is what I teach for my students when I was teaching on campus. I teach it online now. I used to say, wealth whispers and rich blings. Let me
Isn't
say it
that the
again.
truth?
Is it a camera for me to look into? Wealth whispers
I love
and rich blings. So we know that rich blings, but the real wealthy you
don't
never know
have
in
to-
Atlanta.
You don't
You'll
have to
never know
flex.
in Atlanta.
Yeah, you don't have to flex.
Never know.
You could have on a
Don't even matter.
$1,500 cashmere turtleneck. But it doesn't say Gucci. It doesn't say,
Right, mhm.
Versace, all the designers and stuff. Now, the bling is when you had the Gucci shoes, you got the Gucci pants, you got the Gucci shirt, and the Gucci hat.
These things right here with Gucci.
Yes,
Gucci,
everything
Gucci,
is
Gucci, Gucci.
blinging.
Yeah.
Everything is blinging.
So
that's the new money.
That's new money.
That's new money.
New money doesn't
But the
operate in Atlanta.
Old,
But
powerful
old money.
money.
Old money.
You step into who you are. You know who you are. You,
You
don't
have
have
on
to announce
St.
it.
John jumpsuits.
Exactly. And nobody
Sorry.
knows what you
Sorry.
have on because it's not blinging. It's not blaring at you with,
Sorry, everybody.
with
My friends know
iconic.
why I'm laughing.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm certain. So, what I did want to get to also, I want to know why you stayed here so long. Why did you make this your home? Okay.
I'm married here. I married here right out of college.
Okay.
So when I left Spelman, I went to Quebec for the L'Université de Laval. And when I left from up there and came back as a French teacher, and first black itinerant French teacher for elementary schools for Fulton County. Can you imagine that? But I was. And
Yes.
so the four schools that I had in East Point and College Park was so happy to have a French teacher come in and
bet.
teach French to their children. They had French teachers everywhere, but in the elementary school in Fulton County for black kids.
Yes.
Amazing. So they had to wait for me to graduate. I had to be born, graduate, go to Canada, come back,
To
and
get
get
that.
a degree out of Spelman to be able to do that. And then I just stayed here. After my divorces, I still stayed here because I had a child who was born and raised here. I had an opportunity when I went to work for Delta Airlines, had an opportunity to go to California to be with somebody else. And I think my daughter was in high school, and she said, Mama, can we just not do that?
Let's stay.
And I was like, you know what, let me just stay here. This child was born and raised here. Her father was still living at the time. And I said, we're just going to stay here. So I watched the good and the bad with Atlanta. I watched the way, and who lived here, where they go. I watched the way they put I-20 right down the middle of the black neighborhood. I watched the way Buttermilk Bottom was just removed so that they could put the Civic Center there and move all those people out. I watched all that, but I've also watched, on a positive note, the Olympics I thought was good for the city. I've been very proud. I was very proud to be an attaché for the country of Benin. My daughter was the attaché for the country of Niger. And I said all that to say that we needed the Olympics here to tell us that we were not there yet. You see, because we thought we were there.
Yeah,
Now,
after that.
we had Maynard Jackson.
Yeah,
You see, when you
yeah.
have Maynard Jackson, we just thought we were there. But we didn't know we weren't there until the Olympics came in and say, oh my God,
Yeah.
y'all got all this vast land.
You gotta build up here
there's
and
no
there and
building.
everywhere. You gotta get
where,
ready.
where are the folks?
Yeah.
And so
where
we
are the
needed
people
them.
going to be when
That-
they come in?
That's
so you
exactly
got to
right.
start building up.
And I'm just very glad. And then more people got jobs and money. And when young people say they
Oh, my
made the
God.
bag, what you call getting the bag, there's
Oh,
some kind of
yeah.
bag word you use now. Well, anyway, they finances, people made more money, and the city has just been vibrant. Now, for me, let me go to old school. When I go down the streets now of Atlanta, I'm proud of Atlanta, Georgia. I'm proud of all our mayors. I love you. I love you, Andre Deacon. I mean, we got mayors with the name Keisha. My name is Keisha. I
Yes,
love when she
yes.
said that. And we got Andre. I love them. I should say mayor because I know them all, but just mayor. But this is what I don't like. Just me, old school. When I drive down Spring Street now, I can't see the
can't
sky.
see the sky.
And I don't know where I am in Atlanta. I know where I am in Atlanta by the sky.
Yes.
You see, when you've been driving around
You're
as long as I've been
navigating.
driving around. But and so now I'm driving around and I get frightened because I feel closed in. I feel
It's
like
a lot
this.
of development
There's
is
too
happening.
many things going
It's a
on for
concrete
me.
jungle
and
now.
then it is. And then I'm 81. I'm doing well. You know, do I look good, y'all? Do I
Oh,
look good,
honey,
Kip?
fabulous.
Okay. Anyway, so and thank you so much. You know, I have this show called what is it called? A Slice of Life, where I do all this
We're gonna
foolishness.
talk about it.
Where I
We're
do all
gonna
this
talk
foolishness.
about
But
it.
let me just say, my age group now, we all complain about too much of everything, but it's progress.
Yes,
And that's what I like.
yes, yes, yes. Entrepreneurship on steroids.
Yes.
The-
Young black people
I
just,
was looking
oh, I'm
back
loving
in
it.
the 60s where people had side hustles.
Yes.
You
now
know,
it's real hustle.
selling lemonade, selling this or that.
And the
when
number
you're
runners.
young, and numbers.
The number
yes.
runners don't
and it
know-
was respected down here.
Absolutely.
It was respected.
The
because-
number runners kept the churches going and kept the businesses going, sent
Yes.
people to college. Who was his name? Mr. Cato. He was can I say that? I don't know. I guess I can. But anyway, everybody knew the Cato family, whatever. Some of them, they said allegedly kept money and sent people to Morris Brown College.
Yes.
They sent people to college
Yes,
because we
yes.
were a community that this was
It was
our money.
economic empowerment.
Yes, it was.
Economic
It was.
empowerment.
What's his name? Skip Mason. He has Vanishing Atlanta on the on Facebook. I recommend everybody go to that site on Facebook so they can see all the wonderful pictures and places and stores
Yeah.
and communities that we used to have. He has it all documented there
Oh,
on
wonderful,
Facebook called
wonderful.
Vanishing Atlanta.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's good to go back from a historical perspective and see it. What I want to talk about are the young people, and then we're going to take a break and we're going to get into who lived here, where did they go.
Okay.
The young people down here have figured this out.
They have.
They have figured
I'm
this
so
out.
proud of them.
I mean, they own businesses.
Oh my God, yes they do.
They are entrepreneurial.
Yes, they-
like,
and they support one
never seen-
another. They are back
and
to
they
our
always
era.
ask, "Is that yours?"
Yes.
Oh, I'm coming.
Yes.
And they come.
Yes.
And they patronize.
Yes.
And they spend money.
They picked up on our era.
Restaurants. Yes, they did. They
Because
got it
there was
right
an
too.
era that we did, when we
It's-
integration was not the best
But
thing.
Georgianne.
Integration was not the best thing. You know that,
Georgianne,
right?
Right. And we're going to get to that too. What I want to tell you is that they picked up on the spirit of
Yes.
Atlanta.
Yes.
It's not like this everywhere else. I have been everywhere across this country and out of this country. Well, not everywhere, but I've been quite a few places. California, it is not there.
Oh, I know.
Chicago is my town. I'm a
Well,
Chi-town girl now.
I'm
It
Gary.
is not there. It is not there. New York, it is not there. Little bit better than Chicago,
Yeah.
New York, as
think
far as
so.
patronizing businesses and getting that entrepreneurial, getting your hustle on or whatever. But I'm telling you, here, it's spirited. It's everywhere.
But you know why? Because that's all we had at one time. And the young people had picked up on all we had.
Yes.
See, Hunter Street and Auburn Avenue is where you shopped.
Yes.
They gave us 2 streets.
Yes.
And we did well. And black people, when we integrated, we lost our minds, and the young people found our minds for us.
Yes. Yes. And
So we lost our minds
Yeah.
because we like, oh, we can go to the white
can
man.
go
The
over
white
here
man's
now.
ice is better. The
Yes.
white man's doctor is better.
Yes,
The
you
white
got
man's
washed
grocery
over.
store is better. Oh my God, we got to go to the white man stuff now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
and that was the craziest thing. But we thought that if we said like at Spelman, we were the Vassar of the South, and Morehouse was the Harvard of the South. And we would have our pocketbooks, and we held our gloves, and we had our hats on, and we did everything. We looked like Massa, and Missa. And we thought that if we did that, you would pat us on our heads and say, "Okay, we accept you.
doing a good job,
You're
and we
doing a good
accept
job." But we did not know they still don't like us now. We all educated, vice president, president, all that, and they still could care less. Talked about President Obama like he was the dog, and the wife and the family too. So we just found out lately that it doesn't matter. Nobody liked or wanted us, and the young people have picked up on. Let me just show you this. I can show you better. I can tell you. Black Wall Street is working its way back. It's just not all in Oklahoma. Is that where it
Exactly.
was?
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
yes.
right.
Tulsa. Absolutely, absolutely. I met a young lady, all of maybe 32, if that,
Oh, I love that age.
in the car rental place. And she came in there like thunder because she knew everybody in there. And I was they had given my car away, so of course I was hot as fish grease. And I'm like, who is this coming in here loud and, talking to everybody and so forth and so on? I'm from Chicago, right? So she starts laughing and joking. So I just sat back and I started ear hustling. And this lady said, so I'm going to keep my Tesla for maybe another week because I just like how it drives and so forth. And so she's talking to the manager there. And I'm like, I don't have a car. Can you give me that Tesla so I can get where I got to go? And so I'm trying to argue with them. And they're like, go sit down somewhere. And so the young lady says, now, my Bentley's not going to be... Now my ears are like,
yeah,
the antennas just popped up, and I started truly ear hustling. And so she's talking about this Bentley that she's got to pick up in a couple weeks and so forth, so she's going to keep the test. And I'm looking at her, just an average girl, pretty black girl in leggings, a sweatshirt, some Crocs, just coming to the car rental place to update or whatever. And so I just tapped her. I said, sis, I said, I don't want to say I was ear hustling, but I was really ear hustling. And I said, talk to me about this Bentley, because I'm seeing some stuff in Atlanta and I don't understand it. How in the world can you afford a Bentley? And you must be like 20-something, 30-something. She said, yeah, I'm 32. And I said, sis, talk to me. How are you acquiring a Bentley? Mm-hmm. What do you do? And she said, oh, man. She said, you don't even want to know. My life has been so hard. So she went through her life, and she said, she had lost her husband. She had, just a young girl, She had lost her mom to cancer. It was just, she had just gone through it. And she said, and I just had to get it. And so I'm in the event space. She said, Essence Festival, we do all kind of events like that. She said, and we make our money, honey. We get our bag. And I said,
yes,
that's
they do.
what I'm talking about. So now I'm in on the chatter. And I'm just as loud as everybody else in there. And so I'm vibing with this entrepreneurial spirit.
I love
she said,
it.
now I'm going to tell you, I can go and pay for the Bentley, like outright. She said, that's how much money we make. It's three of us in our group. That's how much money we make. She said, and I always wanted a Bentley. I said, what are you driving now? She said, what you driving? So I told her, she said, well, I drive a Benz, and it got totaled and so forth. She said, so that's why I really have to get a new car. And she said, you know what? I worked so hard. I think I'm going to get a Bentley now. And she said, so I'm going to go and pay for my Bentley. She said, but I'm going to keep this Tesla another week. I said, please give me that Tesla, because I got to get out of town, and I don't have a car. She said, girl, go to the airport. They'll get you a car. She said, go to like Sixth or National at the airport, and they might, So, no, I shouldn't have said the brands because I don't get a quarter from them. But anyways, so we had the greatest conversation, but I'm just telling you, they have figured it out.
They have figured it out.
They don't need you to create space in your corporation.
I wish I had them.
And do all kind of stuff and nepotism and this or that or discriminate. These young people have figured it out. They have got their bag together and they're doing the darn thing. I'm so proud of them.
I'm proud of them too. I taught school. I thought it was good. In the divorce, I went to work for Delta Airlines, which is a whole nother story. If you listen to A Slice of Life, I will tell you the Delta Airlines story. Kudos to Delta Airlines for allowing me to retire, because I was that rebel person, but I was rebel because there was so much segregation there. But in the meantime, still, Delta Airlines is where I retired from. While I was there, or right afterwards, I think I decided that I wanted to do something I always wanted to do, was to have my own hair care products and my own hand care and skin care products. So my good friend Angie Williams and her company, Draga Labs, put together something for me. Here's the story, Bridgette. I wish I'd had these young people when I was doing my products, because my products failed so badly. They failed so badly. I thought I could just put the product out there and put my name and put my face next to it, and people just come and get it.
It's a whole new way to market.
It's a whole. It wasn't even. There was no platforms back then. This is like 2008, somewhere there in 2000, somewhere there in, and nobody bought my product.
Right,
And I was
right.
like, but I'm Georgianne.
It's an amazing
oh my
product. Okay, so I'm going to stop you right there. Only because I want to get your websites out there and the projects that you have. Incredible. This lady here, she talked about Delta Airlines and a couple other things, but I'm going to tell you what she really does. Okay, so she has a website for Finny cards.
Oh, I love
Finny
Finny
cards.
cards.
Finny.
Oh my God.
It's French, right?
Oh,
Finny
I
is
love
French.
Finny
What does
cards.
Finny mean?
Fini, the N.
Yes. And what does that mean?
And with my cards,
Yes.
I'm done with you. It's over. It's a breakup card. Whoever heard of such a breakup
Yes.
card? But let me tell you, in 1980 something, I came up with these cards because I was sitting there. My daughter was about to come out of high school. My grandmother had died, and I was sitting there, Bridgette, in this apartment because we lived about 20,000 places, and I was sitting there, and I didn't have anybody. I was thinking I didn't have anybody. I got this child. I'm by myself. My in-laws don't even call me anymore because the grandmother, the matriarch, has died. I don't, and I said,
Now what?
What am I gonna do? And I came up with these cards because I wanted somebody to say. So I wanted to send a little card. So, well, Evelyn, if she could send a card, we could send a card to a cousin to say we still here. If I could send a card to somebody, say we still here. If I could send him a card, one of them kind of cards, I won't say to say, you need to send me my money, my child support money. If I just had all these things in my mind that I wanted to do, and that's how Finny cards
That's your
came
Finny
about.
card.
Yes.
And so what is the address to
www.finicards.com.
Spell
Fini. Card.
FINI cards.com.
.com.
Go there, make a purchase,
Please.
and some of the catchiest things, cards, and just
I can't even say
wonderful.
them.
And you could send them electronically.
Yes.
So you don't have to wait to get them from Amazon.
No.
Send them electronically to your loved ones or people you want to get together.
What about Orange Grace, though? I love those cards because
Yeah.
they're free.
Mm-hmm.
Fini cards are like $3 and some cent, but Orange Grace, those are free. I give them away freely because I had a friend to go to prison. And so before he went to prison, my daughter and I went to see him in the local jail or something.
Mm-mm.
So while we were out there trying to see him in the local jail, I saw all these kids, and they were there trying to see somebody. And I was thinking about how those kids felt. Then I looked at Empire, the movie. What was that show?
So
and
your
I
cards
remember
are for those who are incarcerated.
yes. And so, but
That's the important part.
but the
So-
important part I want to talk about are the kids. The kids don't know that you killed somebody or that you flim-flam somebody. That's still mama, daddy, cousin.
Correct. And they want to send a greeting.
Yes.
And so what are these cards?
Orange Grace.
Orange Grace.
Because by the grace of God, you'll be all right with that orange on.
See, I have to break it down. Georgianne is going to give me the whole dissertation because she is a doctor. And so she's used to
Okay, go
researching
ahead,
and
go ahead.
studying. So that's Orange Grace.
www.orangegrace.com.
And don't forget the incarcerated.
Yeah.
You know,
free
you're
cards.
going to be all right, even though
You're
you're
gonna
in
be all right.
orange.
You're gonna
And
be
so
all right.
those are complimentary
Yeah.
free. And the Fini cards
Yes.
are the ones where you can get sassy.
Yes.
and as Mom used to say, I'm going to get you right on together.
All right.
You know,
now.
you get it right on together.
Yes. I like that saying. Who
And
said
so
that? Your
that's
mom.
my mom. She
Oh,
said,
I like
I'm going to get you right on together. And that meant you better, yep. So, FiniCards.com and Orange Grace. Now, that's just one thing. The other thing, she's got a cosmetic line. Not a cosmetic line. It's in the beauty industry.
Right.
But she gave me, I like Rose because Rose reminds me of my mother.
Oh.
And so she gave me rose oil and lotion. Where can they find this?
But I don't have it. I'm not ready yet.
Okay, she's back to
back.
finding a manufacturer
Yes,
for it.
I
You
am.
did tell me that.
You have found me somebody. I'm just not ready yet.
Yes,
But I wanna be
so
ready.
keep
Thank
an eye
you.
out for that.
Yes.
She does that as well.
Called Georgianne Skin Treats.
Yes. So look out for that.
Okay.
They are luxurious.
Thank you.
They are wonderful. I love them.
Thank
I
you.
love them.
Thank you.
And so you do something else. There's two things.
That's three
so
things.
the third
really.
thing, she's got this show on YouTube called A Slice of Life, Dr. Georgianne Thomas. She
Okay,
put
this is
those
my
glasses on. Now that's the real Georgianne.
Hello,
I listen
darling.
to it. Yes, I listen to it when I get in the shower. I laugh so hard. It sets my day right.
That's
'Cause
comical.
It is comical.
It
It is
is
so
comical.
funny. But it's a collection of who Georgianne is for an accumulation of a memoir, so to
Yes,
speak.
yes.
And so she walks you through things like no other. And I just love it.
Thank
I
you.
love it so. And then we've got who lived here, where did they go?
Yeah,
And
serious.
we're going to break right now
Okay.
because when we come back, I want to talk about who lived here, where did they go, in its entirety because it's important.
And we want to make sure we talk about Guide to the Second Time Bride book.
Okay.
It has its own website.
Okay, very good. So, with that said, we're going to head on into part 2
Okay.
with Dr. Georgianne Thomas. And this
Thank
is
you.
Bridgette with the Souls of Many podcast here on YouTube, the SOM podcast.
Clear.
Okay.